Thank you. Mani Hardeep Singh Puri ji. Mani Hardeep Singh Puri.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, one of the advantages of speaking so late into the discussion is that some of the most amazing statements bordering on the outlandish have already been responded to by others, and some of the facts will, I'm sure, be covered in great detail when the Honorable Home Minister replies to this discussion. But I picked up some gems, and I thought I will share them with you. It was when the Honorable Chairman was presiding that words that were used included retrogressive, unconstitutional, control freak, principles of federalism violated, arrogant government, accountability, constitutional stupidity, cheap tactics, chicanery. Now, I would like to subject some of these terms to any dictionary of legal usage or normal linguistic usage. And I think much of this actually is applicable to what is being said by those who are opposing the bill, rather than the constitutionality of what we have brought forward. But I think the gem which I really enjoyed, and I think, sir, I say this out of deference to you because you yourself are such a high legal luminary, that when lawyers start quoting from historical figures, they should be careful. When they came for the socialists, I did not oppose because I'm not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not oppose because I'm not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I'm not a Jew, so I didn't oppose. Now they come for me. Sir, I want to humbly submit, they came for you. They first attacked you. And I'm talking about a period before the BJP government assumed office in May 2014. Let me remind you, because you seem to have selective amnesia. On the night of 15th and 16th of January, one of the so-called elected, accountable ministers of the Aam Aadmi government, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Som Bharti, he attacked a colony of foreigners, and he used a mob as an instrument of politics. Some foreign nationals were subjected to cavity searches. So that's a very serious term. Cavity searches, basic human rights violation. They were subjected to, urine samples were tested, and they said, I know the honorable Congress member is encouraging you, but let me complete. You don't know where you will have to look then. Let me remind you. Sit down, you'll benefit from this. And Honorable Chairman, sir.
One second, sir. Oh, no, first ask your colleagues to take the seat. 1 second. One second. First ask your colleagues to take seat. Yes. Now what is your point?
The point is, because he is naming the person who is not a member of this house. How he can name that person?
Yes. Let me tell the honorable member, Mr. Gupta, that this issue was addressed by me on a point of order raised by the leader of opposition. And I had categorically held that this house has the power to discuss conduct of anyone. This house has the power to discuss anything under the planet. And as a matter of fact, this issue was signaled by former Chief Justice Mr. Gogoi also. If it is with respect to member of a Lok Sabha, then there is a set procedure that before making accusations, notice has to be given. So don't get upset. Don't get upset.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
1 second. Let me tell you, Mr. Gupta, if you get upset, you will be helping Mr. Puri. You will be helping Mr. Puri if you get upset. Please.
Sir, sir, this unfortunate incident, which we would all want to forget, but which my friends, those who are opposing this bill, perhaps want to forget even more, took place on the fateful night of 15th and 16th January 2014. Sir, I wrote about it even then. I have a publication which has these and other such incidents documented. And these were, I can give them the citation, these were much before the BJP government under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister assumed responsibility. Sir, this did not end here, because the then so-called accountable Chief Minister, who did not succeed in persuading or using the margin of persuasion with the Delhi police force, then decided 3 days later to hold the entire city to ransom by going on a strike at Rail Bhavan for 36 hours. It was, sir, on the 20th of January 2014. And all he wanted was those 3 police persons who did not support that vigilante type of action against those foreign ladies, they should be suspended. And sir, because we had a government in power in Delhi at that point of time, they followed the policy of appeasement. They indulged this kind of behavior, and 2 of the policemen were transferred because they were afraid that the 26th January celebrations would be thwarted. Sir, these are the facts, and let me not stop here. This was an action in January 2014. Now, this bill speaks to the heart of governance. Heart of governance. What does governance say?
इसमें आपकी परमिशन की जरूरत नहीं है.
Sir, what does the heart of governance say? And I'm very happy that my
परमिशन की जरूरत नहीं भैया.
my chance to speak came after my learned friend Shri Mahesh Jetmalani and others. But since I'm not a lawyer and I was preparing for this intervention, for which I'm deeply grateful to my party, there are 2 or 3 things which stand out. This particular insertion in 1991 and 239, what does it seek to do? It acknowledges the sui generis character of Delhi. The honorable member mentioned there was a reality. It is a union territory, yet it has a legislature, elected government. So he used the term escalated union territory. But that sui generis character needs to be acknowledged, it needs to be fleshed out, and that is precisely what the bill that the government has brought is seeking to do. Now, the civil service authority which is being established, I found it appalling that someone can get up here and say one member is the supreme. Yes, he's an elected chief minister. He deserves full respect. He deserves to have his position as primus inter pares in this 3-member committee acknowledged and respected. But to say that the other 2 are against the whole system, or they have been appointed and their integrity is in doubt, is an outlandish statement, if I may submit. Let me now read out to you how they treat their chief secretaries. Sir, I have in front of me the copy of an FIR filed a few months later. It was filed on 20th February 2018. The then chief secretary says that he received an information yesterday, that is 19th February. I was informed on telephone at 8:45 p.m. in the evening that the advisor to the Chief Minister, Shri V.K. Jain, that I had to reach the CM's residence at 12 o'clock at night. Sir, I'm not going to read out the whole FIR, but I'll read out some salient portion. He had already met the Honorable Chief Minister at that point of time, earlier in the day. He was to meet the Chief Minister again the next day because there was a cabinet meeting. And the contents of this FIR, sir, are amazing. He says he was told that if some advertisements that were the Honorable Chief Minister desired and some of their MLAs desired, if those advertisements are not released, he better come there at 12 o'clock. The Chief Secretary reached the Honorable Chief Minister's residence. He thought only the Deputy CM would be there. Shri Manish Sisodia. But to his surprise, 11 other MLAs were there. And they sat down and started questioning the Chief Secretary in an aggressive manner why those advertisements were not released. To which the Chief Secretary replies as part of the FIR, part of the subsequent legal records, that those advertisements could not be released in the light of the Supreme Court directives. Then what happened is even more amazing. The Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister are present, and the Chief Secretary is physically assaulted. Now, I am not surprised. I am not surprised.
Honorable member,
इसका जवाब आप जनता के सामने देना, आप भूलना चाहते हैं इसको, हम आपको याद करवाएंगे.
Honorable Minister, a copy of this FIR be laid on the table of the House.
Here and now. Okay. Now I want to come to the subsequent stages of what happens. Sir, initially when the case came up in the preliminary legal stages, the government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi took the view that no such incident took place. Total denial. When it went up to the next stage, they said, हाँ incident तो हुआ था, पर इसमें Chief Minister और Deputy Chief Minister ने हाथापाई नहीं की, उनके MLAs ने किए हैं. साहब आप मुख्यमंत्री हैं, आपके घर में आप MLAs को बुलाते हैं, उनको कहते हैं Chief Secretary की पिटाई कर दो, तो ये कोई मैकेनिज्म नहीं चलेगा. ये इनको जनता के सामने जवाब देना पड़ेगा. और ये सब legal. Now let me come to a few substantive things, sir. I have had the privilege, sir, of being Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs. Now,
Nothing will go on record.
sir, I have had the privilege of being the Minister for Housing and Urban
Honorable
Affairs.
members, I have heard from this side also, from every side of the House. One second, Mr. Gupta, you'll have to lend some ear to me and be little patient. There have been inputs that have been absolutely beyond the bill. When I tried to request the honorable members to be in the groove, they said no. And I have had a number of them saying so. If the honorable minister is making an input, hear him patiently. When there is an occasion for someone from this side, you will have an occasion. But can we create ruckus in the house like this? So, no, I will not lend it. क्या कहा?
ये झूठी FIR देंगे कोर्ट से खत्म हो गई.
Sir, let me shift now to a second segment of my submission to this august House through you, sir. I've had the privilege of being the Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs at least now nearly 6 years, sir, from 3rd September 2017. Sir, on many such occasions, I have had to appeal to the Honorable Chief Minister for the implementation of central schemes. When it came to the unauthorized colonies and their regularization, I had to write a letter to him. I'm placing that on the table of the House also, about the false narratives that they were creating. But let me come to some basic issues, sir. When it comes to schemes which have the Capital Territory of Delhi as an equal participant, let me give you, sir, something like the Delhi metro system. Sir, they are still sitting. There have been constant delays in getting approvals for metro and RRTS projects. The signing of the tripartite MOU for DMRC Phase 3 and Phase 4 for 3 priority corridors is pending despite several reminders to the GNCTD. Recently, sir, they are co-partners with us for the RRTS, and they would refuse to part with the remaining 415 crores. The matter was agitated before the Honorable Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court asked them, how much money have you spent on advertisement? So the reply given to the Supreme Court by the Capital Territory of Delhi government was that they have spent 1,100 crores on advertisements in the last 3 years. In 3 years. And they could not release 415 crores for the RRTS. So this again एक ऐसा मुद्दा है जिसपे इनको दिल्ली की जनता को जवाब देना होगा. Or so let me give you one or two other some examples, sir. A reference is already made in terms of dealing with institutional mechanisms. Let me also tell you, sir, that the 400 or so specialists or consultants who were hired, well, I'm very happy that the Lieutenant Governor has finally terminated their services. What services they provided at exorbitant salaries, perhaps they might like to inform the House about that. But there was another expenditure, sir, where they incurred 60 लाख का खर्चा किया कुछ इक्विपमेंट खरीदने के लिए. इक्विपमेंट 60 लाख की है और उन्होंने विज्ञापन उस पे किया 23 करोड़ के. I will place those facts in front on the table of the House also. Sir.
Circumstances.
Sir, very often, we are told that the central government starves the government of Delhi and the MCDs and everybody of funds. I did a quick reckoning, sir. Since 2014, we have given to these different bodies under the urban development funds for other schemes a total of 52,052 crores, sir. 52,052 crores. And what we witness, जो हमारी केंद्रीय योजनाएं हैं, मैं इसलिए एक का उदाहरण दे रहा हूं क्योंकि मनसुख भाई मेरे साथ, my honorable colleague is sitting next to me. Some of the most successful schemes, sir. आयुष्मान भारत, जिसके तहत एक परिवार को एक वर्ष में 5 लाख रुपए की सुविधा है इलाज करवाने के लिए, दवाइयों के लिए, ऑपरेशन के लिए, पोस्ट ऑपरेशन केयर. ये इन्होंने दिल्ली में लागू ही नहीं की. इन्होंने कहा कि हमने शानदार वर्ल्ड स्टैंडर्ड के मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाए हुए हैं. वो हमारे कुछ लोग हैं, उनको शुरू में पसंद आते हैं, फिर वो समझते हैं कि यहाँ पे वर्ल्ड क्लास नहीं है, ये तो काफी फटीचर टाइप है, तो फिर उनकी निंदा कर देते हैं. देखिए सर, ये आपने एक शब्द इस्तेमाल किया, कन्वीनियंट मैरिज. कन्वीनियंट मैरिज क्या होती है सर? कन्वीनियंट मैरिज मेरे हिसाब से वो होती है जो एक अपॉर्चुनिस्टिक अलायंस होती है. तो वही कांग्रेस पार्टी जिनको इसमें वो लग रहे हैं, पहला अटैक तो आम आदमी पार्टी का उन्हीं के खिलाफ हुआ था. अल्टीमेटली इसकी पैदाश कहां से हुई थी आम आदमी पार्टी की? सर, it was we also welcomed it. I must say, as a private citizen, when I found a social movement headed by a highly respectable Anna Hazare against entrenched भ्रष्टाचार, entrenched corruption के खिलाफ. But today you wonder who started the movement and who has become the prime mover and where is this leading to? So I make the submission to you, sir. I have no desire to take more time than is necessary because I told you I have already seen that most of the question and those absurd statements have already been responded to by others at the legal front, and I'm sure that the Honorable Home Minister, when he is responding to the debate, will provide. But in conclusion, sir, let me ask through you one question. Why do we have selective amnesia? कुछ चीजें हमें याद रहती हैं और कुछ चीजें हम कन्वीनियंटली भूल जाते हैं. अच्छा, शब्द जो इस्तेमाल करते हैं यहाँ पे, आपने कहा कि ये अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है, ये सब जुडिस है, ये है, ये वो है. मैं आपसे एक चीज सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं. अगर आपके पास लीगल आर्ग्यूमेंट्स नहीं है, तो चिदम्बरम जी ने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि लीगल आर्ग्यूमेंट्स हैव बीन एग्जॉस्टेड बाय डॉक्टर सिंघवी, तो इसलिए वो पॉलिटिकल करे. पर पॉलिटिकल आर्ग्यूमेंट भी मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा. ये चाहते क्या है? डू यू वांट द नेशनल कैपिटल टेरिटरी ऑफ दिल्ली टू बी सब्जेक्टेड टू दिस काइंड ऑफ एनार्किज्म? और ये एनार्किस्ट का शब्द मैं नहीं इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूं. जब रेल भवन में उन्होंने 36 घंटे he held the city to ransom, he said, and he's on record, I'll make that cutting also available, I am an anarchist. So this political formation, sir, a startup, has not made the transition from anarchy to governance. And this bill is about governance. They should rejoice, they should welcome it, and they should participate in mature governance till they are in office. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद sir.